Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn more about the respiratory system of human body. How this mechanism start in our body, that there are the two nostrils in from that nostrils we the air entered in our body and it reaches to the pharynx. Pharynx is the tube like structure which is combinedly packed with the food pipe and air pipe both, and then it reaches to the larynx. Larynx is the voice box of our body, and when we take our food, there is a glottis, and on the glottis there is a thin fibrous cartilageous covering. When we take our food inside our body, that covered the larynx so that the food particles cannot be entered into the larynx. After that, it reaches to the trachea. Trachea is a muscular tube like structure which you can say that it is a tube like structure, and till the when it reaches to the near the fifth thoracic vertebra, it divided into the two parts. That the both two parts goes in the both the lungs simultaneously, in the left lung and in the right lung. And we can say that there is a right lung is little smaller than the left lung because of the positioning of liver inside the right lung. There are two lobes in right lung and the three lobes in the left lung. And when the trachea is divided into the two parts, that parts are called bronchus or bronchi. When if we are talking about the one part, that is bronchus, and for the two lungs, that is a bronchi. This is a primary division of trachea. And after that, the secondary and tertiary, it divides into the bronchioles. And in the end of that particular bronchioles, there are the small bag like that circle structure that is called the alveoli. That is the main place where the gaseous exchange happen of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And all these, the both the lungs are packed in the thoracic rib cage, so with the pleural cavity, and this double lining cavity is filled with the pleural fluid. And the inner side of that pleural the lining of the pleural cavity, it's interact with the lungs, and the outer side of that lining is interact with the rib cage. So we can say that the lungs are situated, if we will talk about that uh, ventrally it is protected by attached to the sternum, and dorsally it is attached to the vertebral column, and laterally there are a rib cage, and downwards it is the diaphragm which connect the uh, lungs. So these are the proper placement of the lungs, how it is protected in the thoracic rib cage. And because of this, we can say that if there is a dysfunction in sternum, or if there is a dysfunction in a vertebral column or the diaphragm, so it affects the activity of lungs. And because the lungs is the major plays a major role for our respiratory system, as the inhalation and exhalation takes place in the lungs. And because of the covid patients are because of the covid, some patients are with the obstructive disease, some are in a restrictive disease where the inhalation and exhalation is restricted. And as well as we can say, there is a in a thoracic, there is a the rib cage dysfunction, sternum dysfunction, intercostal, there are the intercostal and external costal muscles which plays a very great role in the working of inhalation and exhalation, that is also goes in a addition. So we have to treat all these thoracic dysfunction through the treatment of the lungs, how the air enters, how the inhalation and the in the inhalation, how inhalation air enters in the lungs, because the diaphragm goes in a contracted position and the volume of lungs increase, so the outer atmospheric pressure is higher than the lungs pressure, so the air enters in the lungs. And when we talk about the exhalation, the same process, that diaphragm is in a relaxed condition, it comes upward, diaphragm is comes upward, and the outer atmospheric pressure is less than the inside of the lungs, so the air goes the outside. So this is all the mechanism of respiratory system, that is very important, and it is near to heart. So it is closely related with heart and the liver. If we can say that all the structure which are visceral structure closely packed, they affect each other working. So this is all about the respiratory system. Thank you.